Hello, I am the Irish guy, and Everton fans, remember this week. Remember how you found yourselves 2-0 down at home to Crystal Palace in mid-May and were genuinely fearing for your safety. Ozzy, this is just 2 weeks off June, and Everton fans are stuffed in Goodison Park, terrified about the prospect of having to travel to Sunderland in August, somewhere where everyone's teeth just looks like rotting cornflakes. Ozzy, I would rather let a wild ferret bite off my tongue than agree to spend a weekend living in that town. Even the supposed fresh air just smells like the stuffy toilets of Pizza Hut. I get there was massive relief after the win, but I'm sorry. A pitch invasion, as if you're waging war on Westeros. Frank Lampard literally dancing around as if he's just won a cup. I'm sorry, no. I might expect this from Brentford, Blackpool, or Grimsby Town. But this is Everton Football Club. You shouldn't be hugging these players. Scout students desperate to get a selfie with Michael Keane. No. You should feel like punching him in the face. I mean, the very sight of an offensive donkey like Ben Godfrey should fill your stomach with a red hot rage. As if you just walked into a restaurant and spotted that neighbour who drowned your puppy in a sink. These Everton players, they don't deserve a lap of honour. I'm sorry, but the very fact that they were involved in a perilous relegation scrap, that is a stain on the club's modern history. I mean, the Arsenal players used to get laughed at in the media for sharing dressing room celebrations for finishing fourth. I mean, Ozzy, when those photos got into the papers, poor Arsene Wenger, he'd probably be less embarrassed of the Sunday League photos of his knob, which probably looks like a shriveled raisin. And Everton, champagne in the showers because you finished 16th. I'm sorry, at the start of last season, some of these fans were dreaming of the title under Carlo Ancelotti. I get that you're relieved that you're staying up, but I mean, do you not think the Geordies also spent Christmas wheezing into a pillowcase? I mean, they didn't win the first 14 games of the season, and yet they now have nearly 50 points, but I don't see the Newcastle fans storming the pitch. This isn't me having a go at the Everton fans. This is just me sort of saying, upgrade your standards. You should want better than this. Those Everton players do not deserve your worship and adulation. I mean, they've lost 20 games of Premier League football this season. They lost an FA Cup quarter-final 4-0 to Crystal Palace. You conceded 5 at home to Watford, and you've only won away from home twice. Most of these Everton players have been an absolute disgrace all season long, and yet now they're taking to social media and acting like they're the man.
Para 23, wash your mouth before you talk about me and Everton, and I don't respect you.
Yeah. Here we've got Richarlison. I mean, where is the self-awareness shown here? You're posing with a fake cigar and a farmer's hat, looking like one of those wet pancakes on Peaky Blinders. And why? Because you squeaked your way to 39 points from 37 games? I mean, this guy last season was linked to Barcelona, and who Carlo Ancelotti challenged to win the Golden Boot with 30 goals. This season, he scraped 10. Listen, he has done well under Frank Lampard in the last couple of months, but why? Why is he acting like Tyson Fury? Like he's some sporting idol? You've been part of the worst Everton side I've ever witnessed in my entire life. At times, this guy's work rate was absolute dog food. And Carragher's right. He does spend half the game rolling about on the floor looking for fouls. Maybe the fact he doesn't respect players like Jamie Carragher is the problem. I mean, this guy was what? A 5'9" chipmunk of a centre half who was blessed with the natural talent of a lawnmower, and yeah, still represented Liverpool nearly 800 times. And being part of a team which won the Champions League? Richarlison is halfway to 50 and only ever read about that tournament in books. I mean, to him, it might as well be the mythical land of Narnia. For all he knows, that competition could be filled with goblins and orcs. I don't know why this guy is moaning about pundits, because honestly, the media have been very kind to you. I mean, 5 years ago, Jamie Redknapp was tipping you to be the next Ronaldo, despite having scored 5 goals all season for Watford. Again, he had no right to be given those sort of comparisons when he was putting up the same stats as a teenage Ashley Young. Everton fans, you should demand more from your players. I mean, they don't deserve it. Honestly, right now, I'm like a frustrated mum whose son has just scraped 40% passes in all his exams. You know, after a week of cramming, after 9 months of feeding his homework to the dog, and sitting at the back of the class making noises with his armpit, like some sort of 15-year-old Nelson Muntz. And then his stepdad rewards his mediocrity with a winter trip to Disneyland. Ozzy, if you were that mum, you'd be close to burning your cheeks off with an iron. Everton fans, if you indulge these players and sow their monster egos in the bath, you know, treating them as if they've just done something special, what do you think that will do for their motivation next season? I mean, it doesn't matter if Tom Davies and Andros Townsend waddle about like melting snowmen, right? I mean, as long as the club stay in the league, oh, they'll still be worshipped like kings. I mean, look at the Everton backroom staff. I might expect this from Leighton Baines, someone who now looks like a middle-aged Hector Bellerin, and considering his career was Wigan and 6 years under David Moyes, then yeah, okay, he had the ambition of veggie lasagna. But Frank Lampard and Ashley Cole, you're Champions League winners with 6 Premier League titles and 11 FA Cups between you. So staying in the league with Everton does not merit tears of happiness. And as for the Everton fan who ran onto the pitch to scream into the face of Patrick Vieira, oh, it's a bit ironic really, because before it was loutish Crystal Palace fans goading Eric Cantona into violence, now you've got a Scouse potato being kicked by Vieira. Honestly, I thought Vieira's days of violence on the pitch was well behind him. I haven't seen this level of aggression from him since his fights with Roy Keane. Honestly, for the last 10 years, this guy has just been a smiley, cuddly teddy bear. You know, someone about as threatening as the bear in the big blue house. And yet here, you managed to get him to kick you in the shin. Oh, well done. It's almost impressive. A bit like that donut who managed to get a mellowed out retired Mike Tyson to repeatedly punch him on the plane. I mean, we had Everton fans running onto the pitch to show Wilfried Zaha the finger. But why? Honestly, what's your beef with him? This is a guy who desperately wanted to join your club in 2019. Although, to be fair, I'm guessing he's relieved he didn't. I mean, Everton wanted him for £70 million. I mean, he'd have been your record signing by far. And lad Zaha was practically getting ready to bite off his nipples to secure a move. Well, Christ above, really? Stuffing his fat wages onto the top of a pile of overpaid flops? I mean, this is a guy who still harbours hope of playing in the Champions League, right? So yeah, a 5-year deal at Goodison Park and chucked onto a heap of rotting prima donna flesh. Oh, sounds about as much fun as brushing your teeth with a fork. Listen, I want to see Everton back where they belong. So the fact that there was still a mathematical chance of this bunch of spineless players winding up in the same league as Millwall and Wigan, to me, that almost makes me sick on my nose. I mean, am I being too harsh here? Should Everton be allowed to celebrate this as if it's a goddamn Bryan Adams concert? I mean, Christ, what the club were even wheeling out celebrity interviews for this momentous occasion. No, just no. This frustrates me because Everton are a monster club. This isn't like when West Brom pulled off the Great Escape in 2005. No, they are a mammoth giant of English football who've won the league 9 times. I mean, they're 5-time FA Cup winners who won a European title. And so to see them not only accept this lowly standard of 16th, but to actively celebrate it, just no. But listen, well done Frank Lampard. He's kept you up with some big wins at home, but let's be honest. He took over a club with 19 points from 20 matches, and we're 16th in the league. Pipe down Rory Jennings, because this isn't some miracle job. Now, both he and Rafa Benitez both lost 10 games each. Benitez won 7, Lampard won 8. It's pretty much the same job. Honestly, I'm pretty sure Benitez would have kept them up too. History will paint out Lampard as being a modern day legend of the club. But honestly, Benitez began the season with 1 defeat in his first 7 matches. He had this team 4th in the Premier League in October. Honestly, after nicking a point at Old Trafford, this man had somehow molded a picnic basket full of underwhelming transfers into a pretty united team. I mean, honestly, when Everton fans were given Andros Townsend and Demarai Gray, oh, it's like a 9-year-old boy unwrapping his presents from Santa Claus, and he thinks he's getting the latest Action Man or Pikachu. Instead, it's just a box of pubic hair. Go back to last autumn, and this is what the world thought of the job Benitez was doing.
I know there was much discussion around Rafa joining Everton, but he's class, and I'm so glad for the fans. Such an underrated manager. Townsend and Gray looking to be quality signings. I'm not an Everton fan, but I have so much respect for him. This is who Arsenal and Spurs should have got. What a brilliant man, coach and manager. As a Newcastle fan, I'm genuinely looking forward to seeing what he will achieve at Everton. The manager is an incredible manager, and if Everton back him, there will be a trophy for the next 3 or 4 years. He's the reason Everton are doing so well, signing key players like Gray and Townsend, and is invincible. What a manager. Everton fans sit back and enjoy the ride. He will take you to the next level. His professionalism is so underrated. I hope you Everton fans get into Europe. Rafa is exactly what Arsenal needed. Rafa well on his way to becoming a complete Merseyside legend.
See? If you hire Rafa Benitez, you need to back him. It's the whole reason he left Newcastle in the first place. I mean, honestly, go back to his spell at Liverpool. If he wasn't given Xabi Alonso or Fernando Torres, and instead was forced to buy Joey Barton and Darren Bent, then yeah, pretty sure he'd be sacked at Anfield too. I mean, imagine telling these people in September that Everton would end the season celebrating, finishing 16th in the league. No. You'd assume the person who told you that had just drank shoe polish for brunch. But what you've done, Everton fans, you had stumbled upon a genuinely experienced top-class coach. But because the players showed him the backbone and respect of a dead werewolf, he's now just seen as a managerial potato who now has to beg for a job at Burnley. How undignified. But it is fitting that I end this video with a Jose Mourinho quote that he had for one of your players. You know, someone part of the problem. Everton fans, you should demand more from you. Anyway, that's it. What do you think? Let me know in the comment section below. What do you think? Were Everton right to celebrate? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and as always, I'll talk to you in a while.